Welcome to Daily Dose Radio, a 5-minute devotional podcast studying the Psalms verse by verse. Broadcast from the ever-beautiful Sharonville, Ohio, on the sunny side of Cincinnati. Hey, welcome back to Daily Dose Radio. This is the Bible study that's free of MSGs and GMOs. It's what we like to call the Bible Bistro. Come on in, sit down. We're looking today at verses 15 through 18 in Psalm 25. This is that beautiful acrostic psalm, wonderfully devotional. Every single thing in here is packed with devotional content. This is like the gold in Solomon's day, the silver in Solomon's day. There was so much of it, it was like the stones on the ground. You can just reach down and pick you some up. This is the low-hanging fruit, but this is the delicious fruit that's low-hanging. You can gather in all you want out of Psalm 25. Stay here for days and days. There is so much here to be appreciated and to meditate on devotionally. Waiting on the Lord, including meditation. Ladies and gentlemen, an important part of our devotion. Here we have one of those psalms that just keeps on giving. An acrostic written out of the Hebrew alphabet. The psalmist just sat down and started with the first letter, and he wrote out a verse. And then he went to the second letter and he wrote out another verse, using that letter as the first letter in the first word of the verse. So just lovely. I mean, he's thinking of all these words that fit with what he's talking about. And I think we could probably say that the subject of this psalm is the exalted teaching ministry of the Holy Spirit, because we have the cry at the beginning in verse 4. When he lifts up his soul, he goes on in verse 4 and says, "Teach me, show me, cause me to know." And we've seen throughout the psalm, we keep coming back to that almost as a refrain. Now we have verses 15 through 18 today. Let me read those. "My eyes are forever unto the Lord, for he has delivered my feet from the net. Turn to me and be gracious to me, for I am solitary and afflicted. The distress of my heart, they alarm me. From straits deliver me. Look up my affliction and labor, and save me from all my sins." That should be, look upon my afflictions and labor. Well, that's verses 15 through 18. I need to change that in my own translation. Look upon my afflictions and my labor. So what do we have here? My eyes are forever unto the Lord. Remember how he began in the very first verse? "O Lord, I lift up my soul to you." Well, here it is again. Just different language, but the same idea. I am looking to the Lord. I lift up my eyes there. My eyes are forever unto the Lord, for he has delivered my feet from the net. Now, that net is important. That simile is important, the similitude that it creates, because we're talking about bird hunting. They would use nets to capture birds, and the nets would spring up and cover the birds. This trap that he feels like is set for him, he's asking God to deliver him from it. And then notice it says, "Turn to me and be gracious to me, for I am solitary and afflicted." Sounds like to me a bird again, a solitary bird singled out in the field. He knows there are nets and traps everywhere. Does he rise up and try to fly away? Does he run along the ground, maybe taking a chance that he's going to be caught by one of the dogs? What happens? How does he get away? Well, there's only one place, isn't there? To lift up your soul to the Lord, to call out to him, to turn your eyes forever unto the Lord, because the traps are set. The spring is there. It's tight. It's ready to be sprung. The net's waiting to cover you. So call out to the Lord. Turn to me, he says. Be gracious to me. The distresses of my heart, they alarm me. From straits deliver me. Again, the bird. He's in a strait. Where does he go? How does he get away? He doesn't know. Look upon my affliction and labor. You might be in that place where you feel like you're in a strait. Affliction, labor, afflicted. There's so many descriptive words here, aren't there? The trap's been set, and you don't know where to turn to. Let me encourage you right now, today, call out to the Lord and say to the Lord, "So save me from all my sins." Oh, and notice, it's not save me from my enemies, is it? It's save me from my sins. The sins that we have sinned have created the traps which keep us. Join me again next time. We'll look at verses 19 through 22 on Daily Dose Radio. Thanks for listening to Daily Dose Radio. I'm David Smith. The music today has been performed by the Bluegrass Experiment. Thanks again for listening. I'll see you next time on Daily Dose Radio.